I was reborn as the villain's long-lost daughter. With my little wooden sword in hand, I showed up at his door with a sincere invitation. Want to rule the world with me? Together we'll take down the hero and win back your true love. The villain said nothing. He just gripped his feather duster tighter. It took Mike Wilson a really long time to accept that this little kid was actually his biological daughter. The DNA test didn't lie. A cigarette dangled from his fingers, smoke curling upward. He couldn't for the life of him figure out how he suddenly had a daughter. A one-night stand years ago. And now, out of nowhere, a kid. I stared at the thing between his fingers, fascinated. What was that? And why was it smoking? I struggled to climb onto his lap. Mike scooped me up in one swift motion. Without thinking, he moved the cigarette away from me. First time dealing with a kid. He had no idea what I wanted. I called out sweetly, flashing my baby teeth, "Daddy." Yeah. He thought I was about to act cute or ask for something. Instead, the next second I said, "What's that thing in your hand?" "I want one too, Mike." Mike refused. He put out the cigarette and tossed it far away. I wasn't happy. Cheapskate. Mike's eye twitched. Patiently. He said, "Kids can't use that." I'm not a kid. I've lived 2 lifetimes. I was once the greatest prodigy my sect had seen in a century. But I was also the big villain in a novel. I sabotaged the hero and heroine's relationship, captured the heroine and forced the hero to destroy his own powers. I was this close to defeating the hero and ascending to immortality. Then a bolt of lightning struck me down. Now I'm stuck in a novel as the second male lead villain's daughter. By the time I arrived, the story was already in the epilogue. The hero and heroine were married with a son. Meanwhile, my poor, useless dad was left to guard his fortune alone for the rest of his life. But lucky for him, I'm here now. He's a villain. I'm a villain. I believe if we team up, can rule the world. That so-called hero, I don't even take him seriously. Mike picked at his ear. Not taking my words seriously? Kids just love to talk big. Sure. You're not a kid. I am. Then call me Daddy. Mike gritted his teeth. Little brat. He flipped me over, ready to discipline me. But I struck first. I started crying. I shouted, "Dads who punish their kids aren't good dads." That shot was all it took. Someone outside rushed in. "Mike, what are you doing?" Mrs. Wilson had just heard from the butler that she had a granddaughter. She rushed over immediately. Before she even got through the door, she heard a child crying. Mike was actually being rough with her precious granddaughter. What a terrible son. While Mike was stunned, I scrambled down from his lap and toddled toward Mrs. Wilson on my short little legs. Mrs. Wilson saw an adorable mini version of Mike, running toward her and hugging her leg. Her heart melted instantly. I puffed out my cheeks, eyes burning with tears, and started tattling. Daddy was mean to me. Wah. Mike, who hadn't even touched me. This kid's good at playing the victim, Mike. It's her first day here and you're already being harsh. What's next? Every day you're a father now? You need to learn patience. Kids just need a little coaxing. Mrs. Wilson lifted me into her arms, scolding Mike nonstop, but her eyes never left me. She'd almost thought their family line would end. Thank goodness a granddaughter suddenly appeared. So cute. Round eyes. Rosy little mouth. She just told me to call her Daddy. Now it was Mrs. Wilson's turn to fall silent. After a long pause, she said, "She's just a kid. What's wrong with letting her have her way? She doesn't know better. But don't you?" After Mrs. Wilson left, I trotted back over to Mike's leg. "Daddy me up. Didn't you just tattle on me?" Mike said he didn't want to, but his hands had already pulled me into his arms. I wrapped my arms around his neck and acted sweet. Men are easy. Just coax them a little. I love Daddy the most. Mike's gaze flickered, his ears turning red. "Don't do it again." Just then, his assistant walked in. "Mr. Wilson, this is an invitation from Johnson Enterprises. Next week is their son's birthday party." I perked up my ears. Johnson Enterprises? That's the hero's company. Talk about twisting the knife. Not only did they have a kid together, but they were inviting the heartbroken villain to celebrate their child's birthday. I looked at him sympathetically and stood on tiptoes to pat his head. Poor guy. Mike had the distinct feeling he was being treated like a dog. They used to have a golden retriever, and he'd pet it the same way. What's with that look? Mike pinched my cheek. Confused. I didn't answer his question. Daddy, do you want to become immortal? Mike ? The assistant. ? Did her brain malfunction? The room fell silent, but I just kept talking passionately, explaining my grand vision to both of them. Once you learn to cultivate immortality, we'll team up and dominate the world. Johnson Enterprises, Davis Corporation. We'll crush them all with a wave of our hand. You can stomp the hero under your foot and win back your true love. The assistant tried to stop me, tugging at my sleeve. I shook him off. I didn't notice Mike's face getting darker and darker. Destiny, fate. It's all lies to keep people down. Even if there's just a tiny bit of hope, we have to fight back. Oh, and they have a kid, right? If you can't bring yourself to deal with him, Daddy, don't worry. I can handle it. I patted my chest confidently. We'll give him a knife and a piece of candy. Make him choose one. If he picks the knife, it means he's got a violent nature. Can't keep him around. If he picks the candy, it means he's scheming. Can't keep him around. If he picks both, it means he's greedy. Can't keep him around. If he picks neither, it means he's rebellious. Can't keep him around. I was on a roll, but the two of them were eerily quiet. Something felt off. Why did my back suddenly feel cold? I unconsciously touched my butt. Why did it feel sore? Daddy didn't even touch me earlier, right? I looked up and saw Mike staring at me with a dark expression. A bad feeling flashed through my mind. Someone's out to get me. Mike grabbed me by the collar like I was a little chicken. The assistant handed him a feather duster with both hands. Mr. Wilson, kids need to learn right from wrong early, or they'll grow up wrong. I scoffed at that. I'm going to rule the world. What I say goes. You're Daddy's sidekick. Which makes you my sidekick. Sidekicks have to listen to the boss. Is that so? Mike's ominous voice came from behind me. That day, my dream of world domination was shattered. Mike disciplined me while asking, "Still want to rule the world?" Of course. I would never give in. Nothing could shake my resolve. If Daddy wants to be ruthless, then don't blame me for fighting back on the battlefield. There are no fathers and daughters. I stretched out my hand. Sword come. 1 second. Nothing. 3 seconds. Still nothing. 10 seconds. Still nothing. I looked down. My little wooden sword was just lying quietly on the table nearby. It seemed to be saying, "I'm taking a nap. You do you." Then not only did my sword not come, but Mike kicked it even farther away. My precious. My heart ached. I miscalculated. Right now, I'm just an ordinary person, and my sword is just an ordinary little wooden sword. In the end, Mike held my wooden sword hostage, and I had no choice but to temporarily abandon my dream. He asked again, "What's your dream?" To rule the... Wait, no. To become a kind person. That night, Mike read me a bedtime story to tire me out so I wouldn't bother him. After I fell asleep, he left the room and texted his assistant. How do I stop Lily from driving me crazy? This kid had way too much energy. He couldn't keep up. She ran around the house with that broken sword, talking about flying on swords 1 minute and seeking revenge the next. Just send her to school. She'll be too tired to cause trouble when she gets home. Plus, she's old enough for preschool. Anyway, Mike thought that made sense. He immediately enrolled me in an elite preschool. Overnight, the kids of CEOs from all the major companies went there. It was like a convention of main characters from every kind of romance novel. CEO romances, sweet stories, winter backstories, childhood sweetheart stories. All in one place. Reluctantly got out of the car. Mike handed me over to the teacher. Behave. Don't embarrass me. Fine. The teacher LED me forward. I turned my head and saw a mini CO. blushing as he cornered a mini heiress against the wall. I like you. Oh well. A CO missing his two front teeth and talking with a lisp. Mini heir smirked and lifted his chin. I don't like people who talk funny. The mini CEO's fragile little heart was crushed. He ran off crying snot and tears everywhere. What? I hate you. Ugh, gross. I kept walking and saw a cold, aloof male lead quietly reading a book at his desk. A bratty heroine walked over, snatched his book, and threw it on the floor. She called him a show-off. The cold male lead was shocked. No one had ever called him that before. She's so different. Not like anyone else. His heart fluttered. Blushing, he grabbed her hand tightly. Shyly, he said, "Thank you." The bratty heroine weirdo. The young master's eyes sparkled with admiration. The bratty heroine. Didn't expect there'd be such a person at this school. She yanked her hand away and ran. The cold male lead chased after her, saying he liked her and asking if she'd be his girlfriend. In his head, he was already planning to tell his parents he wanted to marry her. Nearby, a mini player had boys wrapped around both arms. Male lead 1 Emma, can you just like me and only me? Male lead 2 please don't leave me. I'll do anything. And that's under A. Male lead 3 I'll never like you. Forced relationships don't work. Yeah, right? You say that, but you're holding her hand. She didn't force you. I sighed quietly. So childish. All they do is talk about affection. What kind of future can they have? Teacher, I think I dropped my hair clip outside. Can you help me find it? I looked at her pitifully. No problem. I'll go right now. After the teacher left, I grinned. Hee hee. Your queen has arrived. Bow down. I walked to the front of the classroom, cleared my throat dramatically, and coughed twice. Everyone's eyes turned to me. Do you want to rule the world? Kids are naturally curious. But classroom went silent instantly. Even the mini player abandoned her admirers and ran over. Her eyes sparkled. Rule the world? Really? Of course. These poor main characters had no idea. Their fates were already written. Do you know what a story is? This world is actually one giant story. You're all main characters or villains, or side characters whose fates are already decided. No matter what you do, you can't fight destiny. I pointed at a sweet, obedient girl in the corner. The billionaire's daughter. You're the richest girl in the world. But you'll fall for a poor guy and let him destroy your family. After he gets rich, he'll imprison you. Take your eyes and take your kidney to get revenge. The billionaire's daughter couldn't believe it. What? Her family's going bankrupt. She's going to lose her eyes and kidney. Does that mean she'll never wear pretty dresses again? Never wear big diamonds? Never watch cartoons? She trembled as she asked. And then? Then you forgive him. You two get married and have twins. She broke down. She covered her face with both hands, tears streaming through her fingers. She didn't want to go bankrupt. She didn't want to be the heroine. You're the troublemaker, side character. You're the villain who falls in affection, but never gets the girl and eventually turns dark. Everyone learned their fate. What a pitiful group. We're all victims here. Might as well stick together. Ugh. I was so close. So close to defeating the hero. That despicable villain. No. That despicable destiny couldn't handle losing. So it just struck me down with lightning. Right before I passed. It said, "You're just a stepping stone for the hero and heroine's ascension. Stop struggling. Screw your stepping stone. You're the stepping stone. You should be the one who goes. Are you willing to let fate control you?" I passionately explained to these main characters how cruel the world really is. They shouted, "We're not willing. You know so much. Do you have a way to help us escape our fate?" A group of kids stared at me, eyes shining as if I were their savior. I cleared my throat twice, jumped onto the table, and patted my chest. Actually, I used to be an immortal cultivator. You know, the kind with a sword that goes swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. But I was betrayed and ended up here. I think it's destiny. I'm here to save you. I analyzed everything for them logically. Before long, we drafted a rebellion plan. We needed to know everything about the hero's family. The mini player, whose real name was Emma, volunteered to be our spy. Her dad was best friends with the hero. She could get into their house easily. Second phase, training. The cold male lead, whose name was Alex, started teaching everyone self-defense. He took this way too seriously. By the end of the week, every kid in our rebellion could do a perfect roundhouse kick. Even the billionaire's daughter, who cried when she broke a nail. Third phase, psychological warfare. We would plant seeds of doubt in the hero's mind, make him question his perfect life. The plan was solid. I felt like a genius. Until the teacher walked back in. "What are you all doing on the table? Get down this instant." We scrambled down like guilty mice. I gave them a secret signal. Operation Rebellion would continue after school. That weekend was the hero's son's birthday party. Mike dressed me up in a frilly pink dress. I looked like a walking cupcake. "Dad, do I really have to wear this?" "Yes. You're going to represent the Wilson family. So act like a lady." I rolled my eyes. Ladies don't rule the world. Villains do. Mike sighed. "Just behave yourself. Don't cause any trouble." "I promise." I crossed my fingers behind my back. The Johnson mansion was huge. Like, stupidly huge. There were more servants than guests. The hero, John Johnson, greeted us at the door. He looked exactly like I imagined. Perfect hair, perfect smile, perfect everything. "Mike, thanks for coming. And this must be your daughter. She's adorable." John crouched down to my level. "Hi there. What's your name?" I looked him in the eye. "I'm Lily. And I know who you are." John laughed nervously. "Oh? And who am I?" "You're the hero. But you're also the villain." Mike choked on his own spit. "Lily, don't be rude." I ignored him. "You stole my dad's true love. You broke his heart. And now you want us to celebrate your son's birthday? That's pretty twisted, don't you think?" The room went silent. John's wife, Sarah, walked over. "What's going on?" "Nothing, honey. Just a little misunderstanding." John stood up, sweat beading on his forehead. "Kids say the darndest things, right?" I wasn't done. "Your son is here too, right? Can I meet him?" John hesitated. "Sure. Tommy's in the backyard." We walked to the backyard. There he was. The hero's son. Tommy Johnson. He looked like a mini version of his dad. Perfect in every way. He was surrounded by other kids, all laughing and playing. I narrowed my eyes. Target acquired. I walked over to him. "Hi, Tommy." He looked at me. "Hi. Do you want to play?" "No." "Why not?" "Because my dad says your dad is a bad person." "Oh, really?" "Yeah. He says your dad stole his girlfriend. And that's why your dad is sad all the time." Tommy's eyes widened. "Is that true?" "I don't know. But my dad is the best dad ever." "He's not bad. Your dad is the one who's bad." Tommy's face crumpled. "No. My dad is a hero. He saves people. He's not bad." He started crying. His dad rushed over. "Tommy, what's wrong?" "She said you're bad. She said you stole someone's girlfriend." John looked at me. I put on my best innocent face. "I didn't say anything." Tommy's just confused. Mike pinched my arm. "Ow." John's smile didn't waver. "It's okay, Tommy. Some people just don't understand." He picked up his son and walked away. I smirked. Phase 1 complete. The party continued. I wandered around, looking for opportunities. Emma found me in the kitchen. "The mission is going well," she whispered. "Tommy's crying in his room. His parents are arguing." "Perfect." I high-fived her. "Now for phase 2. We need to find the hero's weakness." "What kind of weakness?" "Everyone has a weakness. For my dad, it's cigarettes. For the cold male lead, it's being called a show-off. For the mini CEO, it's rejection." "What's John Johnson's weakness?" Emma thought for a moment. "I've heard my dad say that John is really insecure." "About what?" "About being perfect. Everyone expects him to be perfect all the time. He never makes mistakes." "Interesting. So we need to make him make a mistake." "How?" "We'll find a way. Just keep your eyes open." The cake-cutting ceremony began. Everyone gathered around. John made a speech. Thank you all for coming. Today is a special day. My son is growing up so fast. I'm so proud of him. He's going to be a great man someday, just like his father. I rolled my eyes. So full of himself. I whispered to Emma, "Watch this." I walked up to John. "Excuse me, Mr. Johnson." "Yes, Lily? Can I ask you a question?" "Of course. What's your biggest mistake?" The room went silent again. John didn't freeze. He didn't lose his cool. Instead, he smiled. "That's a great question, Lily. My biggest mistake was not appreciating what I had. But I'm making up for it now." His answer was perfect. Too perfect. He was good. Really good. I tried again. "So you never make mistakes?" "Everyone makes mistakes, Lily. Even heroes. But we learn from them and become better." The crowd awed. I hated him. He was too smooth. Mike dragged me away. "What are you doing?" "I'm just asking questions." "You're embarrassing me." "Good. Now you know how I feel when you make me wear this dress." Mike sighed. "We're leaving. Now. But the party's not over." "For us, it is." On the way home, Mike was quiet. "Dad, are you mad?" "No. I'm just impressed. You really know how to push people's buttons." "I learned from the best." Mike smiled. "You're a troublemaker. But you're my troublemaker." I smiled back. That night, I couldn't sleep. The rebellion wasn't working. John was too perfect. He didn't crack. I needed to find another way. I got out of bed and grabbed my wooden sword. It was time to take this to the next level. The next day at school, everyone gathered around me. "How did it go? Did you find his weakness?" "No. He's too perfect. He doesn't make mistakes." "So what do? We need to find his secrets." "Everyone has secrets. Even perfect heroes." "Does he have any secrets?" Emma raised her hand. "I was playing at his house yesterday. We were playing hide and seek. I hid in his study. I heard him on the phone." "What did he say?" "He was talking to someone named Snake. He said he needed more time. That he couldn't pay yet." "Snake?" "Yeah. And then he said something about an account ending in 7777. "Interesting. Anyone else?" The billionaire's daughter raised her hand. "My dad had a meeting with Mr. Johnson last week. I was playing in my dad's study. I saw some papers on his desk. They had Mr. Johnson's name on them. I thought they were pretty, so I took them." She pulled out a stack of papers from her backpack. I looked at them. Bank statements. Large amounts of money being transferred to offshore accounts and gambling sites. This was it. This was the smoking gun. I looked at the papers. My immortal cultivator brain could read them. Millions of dollars. Stolen from Johnson Enterprises. Used for gambling. And owed to dangerous people. We had him. We planned our final attack. The annual charity gala. All the important people would be there. Including John and Sarah. And Mike. And me. This was our chance to expose John for who he really was. The day of the gala arrived. I wore a black dress this time. Much better. Mike looked nervous. "Are you sure about this, Lily?" "Positive. This is for you, Dad. For everything you lost." Mike hugged me. "Thank you, Lily. I love you." "I love you too, Dad. Now let's go destroy a hero." The gala was in full swing. Music, food, important people talking about important things. I spotted John and Sarah across the room. They looked happy. For now. I gave the signal. Emma walked over to John. "Mr. Johnson, can I talk to you?" "Sure, Emma. What's up?" "My dad told me to give you this." She handed him an envelope. "What is it?" "I don't know. He just said to give it to you." John opened the envelope. Inside was a note. Just one sentence. "Snake says hello. Account 7777. John's face went pale. He looked around frantically. Then he saw me. I smiled and waved. He walked over. "Can I talk to you, Lily?" "Sure, Mr. Johnson." He leaned down. "Where did you get that note?" "I don't know. Emma gave it to me." His voice was cold. "You're playing a dangerous game, little girl." "I'm not playing. I'm just having fun." He grabbed my arm. "Listen to me. Stay out of this. Or else. Or else what? You'll hurt a little girl? In front of everyone? That would be bad for your image. John let go. You don't understand what you're doing. I understand perfectly. You're not a hero, Mr. Johnson. You're a fraud. And everyone's going to know. He walked away. I smiled. Phase 1 complete. Now for Phase 2. I walked to the stage. The microphone was right there. Perfect. I climbed up and tapped the mic. Testing, testing. Everyone looked at me. Good evening, everyone. I have a story to tell. Mike tried to stop me. Lily, get down from there. I ignored him. Once upon a time, there was a perfect hero. He had a perfect wife, a perfect son, a perfect company. But he had a secret. A big secret. The room went silent. John's face turned white. What are you talking about? I'm talking about account 7777. I'm talking about Snake. I'm talking about millions of dollars stolen from your own company. Used for gambling. Gasps filled the room. Sarah looked at John. Is this true? John, tell me it's not true. John couldn't speak. He was caught. But I wasn't done. I pulled out the papers from my pocket. I have the bank statements right here. I held them up. Reporters rushed forward. Cameras flashed. John tried to grab the papers. Mike stopped him. I don't think so, John. The reporters took pictures. Everything was documented. I continued. You're not a hero, John. You're a fraud. You stole my dad's true love. You broke his heart. And now you're stealing from your own company. You don't deserve to be happy. You don't deserve to have a family. You don't deserve anything. The room erupted. People were shouting. Reporters were taking pictures. John was surrounded. Sarah was crying. Tommy was confused. I looked at Mike. He was smiling. He walked over to me. You did it, Lily. You exposed him. We did it, Dad. We did it together. The aftermath was chaotic. John was arrested. Sarah filed for divorce. Tommy went to live with his grandparents. Johnson Enterprises went bankrupt. Mike's company took over. And my dad? He was happy. Really happy. He quit smoking. He spent more time with me. He even started dating again. Not Sarah. Someone new. Someone who actually loved him. As for me, I became a legend at school. The kids called me the Queen of Rebels. We had changed our fate. We had beaten destiny. I looked at my wooden sword. It wasn't just a toy anymore. It was a symbol. A symbol of what we could accomplish. If we worked together. If we believed in ourselves. If we refused to accept the hand we were dealt. One day, Mike asked me, "So, what's your dream now?" I thought about it. To rule the world? No. That was never really my dream. My dream was to be happy. To help others be happy. To change the world for the better. And I did. I looked at my dad. I'm living my dream, Dad. He hugged me. Me too, Lily. Me too. And that's the story of how I, the villain's daughter, defeated the hero. Not with magic or swords, but with truth and courage. And a little bit of rebellion. Because sometimes, the real villains aren't the ones in the stories. They're the ones who write them. And sometimes, the real heroes aren't the ones who save the world. They're the ones who save each other. I looked at the stars that night. They seemed brighter than usual. I wondered if my old self was watching. The immortal cultivator who almost defeated the hero. She would be proud. Not because I ruled the world. But because I found something better. I found love. I found family. I found happiness. And that's the greatest power of all. The end. Or is it? After all, I'm still a villain's daughter. And villains always have more tricks up their sleeves. Who knows what adventures await? Who knows what destinies will change next? All I know is that I'm ready. With my wooden sword in hand. And my dad by my side. I can face anything. Bring it on, world. I'm ready for you.